This is Edgeville. This is the chunk where I have been for the past 450 hours, completing every task that has been set to me. In this episode, we start with only 2 of these tasks left, including obtaining a mithril kite shield and unlocking the Edgeville gravestone. Once we have done these, we will have a quick discussion on my account type as well as the rules, as I have received quite a few comments questioning them, so I will be clarifying this so that hopefully these questions will all be answered for you moving forwards. Once we've had this discussion, maybe it'll be time to roll. Don't miss this episode of Chunk Danny. Another black demon killed, and this time we get some chaos runes. Probably one of my best ways of actually obtaining chaos runes is from the black demon, so it's nice to keep stacking those up. Kill count 80 on the black demons. A loop half of key. I'm having trauma flashbacks to how many we got at hill giants. Obviously from black demons these are much more common, so nothing to get annoyed at this time. Kill count 87, and we get a duplicate black axe. If somehow I lose the other one that I've got, this will be handy, but it'll probably just end up being an alk, but it's nice to have at the moment. And kill 90, we get some air runes. Similar to what I said with the chaos runes, they're not freely available, so the best ways I can get them is from drops. Black demons drop 50 at a time, which is the single biggest drop of air runes I can get at the moment, so it's nice to have those stacking up. I thought I would just demonstrate how to do this method that I briefly showed in the last video, but in the last video I made it seem massively more complicated than it was. Basically, you have to wait until the demons are no longer aggressive to you, and also the spiders are non-aggressive to you as well, because then they won't ruin your day by poisoning you. Then what you do is you tag the green-eyed demon into this location here. He can't reach you, but he will stay lured there, and then you mage the yellow-eyed demon in behind him so that he is now trapped. Now every couple of minutes or so you have to tag the green-eyed demon so that he doesn't teleport away. So you run back to the pillar, just hit him, and then you run back into the safe spot, the marked tile. So that's all you need to do, and it's nice and easy. I made it look so much more complicated in the last episode. Another black demon kill, and this time a duplicate rune med helm. The drop rate is 1 in 128, and I've got 2 rune chains and 2 rune meds in less than 100 kills. But we are only after 1 more drop, the mithril kite shield, which is also 1 in 128. Level 21 magician coming in while we are just luring this black demon. This has unlocked low level alchemy, which I imagine will actually be quite useful for us when we have to get our cash stack up. Oh my god, we have got the mithril kite shield already. That is what we were after. That was the last best in slot drop we needed from the black demons. Just have to make sure I don't die on the way out. All of my best in slot gear has now been achieved, like I said, in just 94 kills. Each kill though was about 7 to 8 minutes, so that's probably just over 11 hours that it's taken me to get that many kills. So I'm so happy that we didn't go dry, but that's awesome. 5 1 in 128 drops if you take into account the 2 rune med helms and the 2 rune chain bodies. Now we are just going to go back to the bank and work on our 200,000 GP cash stack that we need to get the gravestone from Edgeville. Right, to get this final 45 or so K that we need, we're just going to low out some of the drops that we got from the hill giants. I was planning to sell them to the general store, but I thought against it because the starting price when you sell them to the general store is the same as the low alk price, and then everyone you sell after that goes lower than the alk price. So I thought at least on some of the steel drops anyway, I'm just going to low alch them, and then I'll probably sell a bunch of the other things like the iron daggers and stuff like that to the general store. Maybe some of the lower tier unstrung bows that we've got. It's just basically getting a good way of getting rid of some of the junk in my bank, but also moving towards the 200,000 goal. And it's also great mage experience, so we'll probably get up to 25 magic, that's my guess. But nice, let's move on. We have finished alching all of the steel longswords, and I thought that I would not waste any more nature runes and go and sell some of the cheaper things at the general store just to make up the rest of the cash. So there's iron full helms, iron kite shields, iron daggers, and then the unstrung bows and the shields that we were making when we were doing the wood cutting and fletching grinds. So I believe this will get me up to 200,000 gold very easily. So I'll just quickly hop through the world, sell all my stuff, and I'll come back. Just dumping the last of the items into the general store, and that is 200,000 coins in the inventory. It's the highest cash tag we've had on this entire account so far in about 450 hours. And it's all about to be turned into a useless cosmetic item, but that is the beauty of chunk accounts. You can never know what you're going to have to spend your money on. So click the wrong option there, but can I choose a different looking gravestone? Angel 200k. Are you sure you want to spend a ridiculous amount of money on a purely cosmetic item? Yes, I am, and now I have 22 coins to my name. But that is the final task I've had in this chunk. I am now finished. And some of you are probably thinking, what about Obor? What about the 5 million GP Edgeville respawn? So I attempted Obor one more time. I got my best gear, Rune Medhelm, Black Sword, Rune Chain, Mithril Kite Shield. This is the best gear that I have on my account from killing black demons mainly. Well, every drop that I'm wearing is from a black demon. So I came back to Obor's lair. I wasted another key, filled my inventory with food, the best food I've got, which is meat, as well as one lobster that I got from a black demon, as well as an attack, strength and defense potion. Now I was just waiting for Obor to come to the side, and this is how the fight went. Now obviously please don't have a go at my my PVM, because I am clearly doing this wrong, and looking back I know I should have been up against the wall so he couldn't keep slamming me. But I think it's fair to say that I can't kill Obor. Like, I've wasted probably 3 or 4 keys at this point. I know I did the fight completely wrong, but I don't think it's suitable for me to try and kill Obor knowing that I don't have a way of restoring prayer, and my idea of destroying 1 key for every time I die would just make me run through all my keys. So I know I did the fight terribly wrong, but I don't think Obor is feasible in my current state. So with no other tasks left, I think I'm going to roll a new chunk. And now we run through the part of the video where we talk about my account, the build of my account, how I see myself progressing the account going forward. Am I an extreme? Am I vanilla? Am I vanilla plus? Am I semi-extreme? So just to preface this, I have spent 450 hours roughly on this account since its conception. On the 29th of February I made the account, joined the Onechunk clan the same day, and the rest is history. I spent a long time on this account during working hours, during evening hours, and it became a bit of an obsession for me. Loved making videos, I got so much positive feedback that it made me want to continue and to keep going, so I'm not sure if I would have been able to keep going without that support, but it generally does mean a lot to me. So on the screen you can see me just scrolling through the rules of my account, and as you can see, the must obtain skill capes box isn't ticked. Now that has caused a bit of stir, I would say, in my videos, especially the first one where I said I will not be doing skill capes. Now that can be subject to change if I feel like that is something I want to work towards, but as a general rule I will not be completing skill capes if I roll a chunk that has a skill cape in it. Now, can I call myself extreme because of this? Can I call myself extreme because I didn't stay and kill Obor? I didn't stay and get the 5 million in Edgeville? And I'm just gonna say that I know Frosty Bard, who has an amazing series, who was an extreme Onechunk in Edgeville. He completed everything. He got the air staff drop, which, as I run through in my previous videos, would take me 100 in-game days to get. He greenlogged Obor. He has an amazing series. He got the 5 million GP. But in the end, it took him 18 months to leave the first chunk. 18 months, that's a year and a half. Now I love this account, but I feel like having a 2,500 hour grind for an air staff when it's not even needed for the tasks in my chunk, I feel is a bit ridiculous and ludicrous. So if that's one of the reasons why I can't be called extreme, then so be it. I had one suggestion, one of my friends in the Discord, who told me I could maybe be a semi-extreme, which is where you basically limit time gated grinds. For example, the 100 days grind for an air staff would be an example. And semi-extremes don't do skill capes either. And there is also the vanilla plus, where they play vanilla rules and they can pick and choose which extreme grinds they want to do. So I feel like my account is verging on the extreme, but obviously without the skill capes and without those really stupidly long 2,400 hour, year and a half grinds. I don't think I would play the account if I had to kill men to 99 attack, strength and defense just to get an air staff. So I believe that I will be doing all the extreme grinds except skill capes, and on a case by case basis we'll go through it as it comes. But I believe that my account is semi-extreme, as I want to do the extreme goals except the skill capes. So I hope that makes sense. I hope that clears up some confusion and provides some clarity. But if you have any ideas or feedback, please let me know below. So here is my chunk picker map. We have 5 rollable chunks. We have north in the wilderness, west, which is the Edgeville Monastery, east, which is the Grand Exchange, south, Barbarian Village, and Lumbridge, as we can get there and back using the canoe system. So I am just going to roll my chunk and see which 2 I have to choose from. Let's go. And we have rolled the Wilderness and the Grand Exchange chunks. I'm not really sure what I was hoping for, but let's have a quick look at the different tasks in each chunk. So the potential Northern Wilderness chunk is at the moment cast high level alchemy. However, they have a potential mining star, which means I would have to get level 90 mining, although there is no current access to a pickaxe. There is also the Mage of Zamorak, who may be able to sell me some runes, which is interesting. But as soon as we have access to a pickaxe, that would be an instant level 90 mining grind, so I'm not 100% sure I'm up for that, to be honest. Let's have a look at the Varrock one, the Grand Exchange one. And the only potential chunk task in the Grand Exchange would be Varrock Diary Easy Task 9, which is give a dog a bone. So I believe I'm going to unlock the Grand Exchange, not that I can use it as I am an Ironman, but all I need to do is feed some bones to a dog and then we can re-roll for a second time. So here we are on the outskirts of our new chunk, having just unlocked it. Obviously we can't use the agility shortcut to get into the Grand Exchange, so we're going to have to run around like a peasant. But I just need to find where this dog is located. I'm not actually sure if he's in the GE. Is he south of the GE? I know there's a dog that wanders around Varrock, so is it a case of just waiting for him to wander near me? I'm gonna have a quick look around of the GE just to make sure that he's not just lurking around the chunk. Where are you? I see a frog. It's not a frog that I'm after. I can't see any dog running around the GE. Now I haven't researched where the dog is, but I assume he's just south. He's not going to be east, wandering around the castle.
What the dog doing?
Managed to locate the Varrock dog, who was wandering just south of the Grand Exchange. Had to wait a bit for him to come actually into the chunk, but here we are. We have completed an easy task in the Varrock area, and we're just going to stay here just for a couple of seconds and pet this good boy, this homeless boy covered in fleas, but he is a good boy nonetheless. Shall we give him one more pet just for luck before we leave? Yes, let's. Right, that is the last chunk goal completed, the only chunk goal completed. So now it's time to roll again. So it was made aware to me that I should have actually included the Ferox Enclave in my last roll, because you can get there and back via the canoe, so I wasn't actually aware of that. So I've turned on automatic chunks, which basically tells me every chunk that's available. So every time I roll a chunk, all the available chunks that I can roll will now be showing on the map. So here we are, 8 available chunks, and we have rolled 2 big ones, the Ferox Enclave and also Lumbridge. Now Lumbridge would solve a lot of my issues. I would be able to unbacklog Obor. I would also have a long mining and smithing grind. I would also have an altar. I would also have access to a lot of different clue steps, which is kind of really cool. It would open up a lot of avenues for me. And the Ferox Enclave, I would need to make 1,000,000 GP to unlock the respawn, I believe. So to be honest, I think I'm going to roll to pick Lumbridge. Lumbridge is a long chunk. I'm going to be here for probably a lot longer than I was in Edgeville for. There is a 70 mining and smithing grind, and the only access to a pickaxe you have is bronze, and there's not an anvil, so it looks like I'm going to have to get in 70 smithing using just a furnace, which will not be fun, but is all part of the grind. This is one of them grinds, like I mentioned earlier, that vanillas wouldn't do because they wouldn't have smithing without an anvil as a primary method. but due to the fact that I want to be extreme, or as extreme as possible, I will be doing 70 smithing without an anvil. And I believe that will probably take me about 500 hours, so it will be the same length of time on the account that I've already done, just mining and smithing. That doesn't take into account Obor that we will now have to do. We will also have to get level 43 crafting, as Obor drops diamonds, level 55 magic and level 36 ranged. There's also a number of best in slot tasks. Most of these are Obor drops. All the rune drops are from Obor, as well as a few other ones like the training bow and arrows, which will not take me the longest time, but the Obor ones will. And a bunch of diary tasks and quest tasks as well. So we are going to be in this chunk for many hours. This is not even taking into account the potential 99 woodcutting and defense. Like I said before, I don't do skill capes on this account. However, I may introduce a rule where I have to only use defense if I melee, something like that, or I have to use defensive cast when I'm using magic, something like that. So I'm still actively working towards that 99 defense. So I may introduce a rule like that. I haven't 100% decided yet, but I think I'm going to be here for maybe up to 1,000 hours this chunk maybe. So it's very long, and I'm actually excited to get into it. It's nice to have a change of scenery. So the first thing we did is go straight to hands to do our beginner steps, see if we can get a 1-step casket. We've had this in our bank for the past probably month. So I thought I would try my best to finish a clue. It's my first step that I've been able to complete, and unfortunately the clue ends there, but it's promising that now we can actually have steps that we are able to complete in our chunk. We've been killing goblins for roughly an hour or so, I would say, and we've killed about 400, just over 400. And we are going to be clue juggling until we have 3 completable beginner steps or 4 completable easy steps. Now, as you can see, there's 2 beginner clues on the floor in this little cabin, and then all the ones outside. The ones inside are the ones we can do, so we're juggling them on the floor, waiting for more that we can do to get a casket, and the ones we can't complete are just sat outside on the ground looking sad. First defense level in a long time coming in, level 61 defense. Like I said earlier in the video, if we need to melee something, we will be using defense due to the fact there is the 99 defense cape in Lumbridge. Not something we're actively going for, but we're going to passively work towards it every time we use melee. 1,443 goblins is the amount of kills it took to get 3 completable beginner steps. That's not too bad. It's probably 3 to 4 hours of killing goblins, but that is well worth it, considering that we have been playing this account nearing 500 hours now and we haven't completed a single clue. So this is going to be our first clue, and in our first casket we get a coif worth 11 coins. Now that's not terrible because we can actually use it when we're training range. That'll probably be our best in slot, but 1 clue done, and I'm sure we will get many more in the future. And back at the goblins, trying to get more completable clues. We've hit level 62 defense. And we have another set of 3 steps that we are able to do. So we are going to get our second casket now. So that is 2,800 goblins killed for 2 beginner guaranteed caskets. So it's basically so far 1,400 goblins per casket, which generally isn't too bad. Like I said before, it's about 3 to 4 hours for each one. So I will come back with the casket. I've actually decided against opening this casket for now, as I believe it'll be more exciting for me to open multiple, maybe 2 caskets at the same time. So for now I'm just going to bank it We also got a lamp, which I'm going to hold off because I'm not entirely sure what I actually want to lamp now, having just rolled this chunk. Right, we have 2 caskets to open, 2 beginner caskets. Let's hope for a staff or a pickaxe. And we get a staff and a rune scimitar ornament kit. That is really, really cool. Oh my god, we got another staff as well. We got the water staff and we got the earth staff. So 2 staffs within our first 3 caskets, as well as a rune scimitar ornament kit. That is actually so cool. And we've got a longbow as well, so we can train our range without actually having to use the training bow now. That is absolutely huge. I am so happy with those 2. Obviously it's not the staff we want, like I was saying. I want the air staff, as air runes are the hardest runes to come by in the chunks that we've got. Obviously we've got the magic tutor, which we're going back to periodically, but to get 2 different staffs in my first 3 caskets, generally that's so amazing for me. It's going to make training magic a whole lot easier. Level 63 defense. We've recently got a XP lamp, although I'm not sure what entirely to put it on. Last video I said I was going to put it on hunter, but since we have unlocked such a long smithing grind, I think we are going to start using it on smithing again, purely because there is no anvil, so every little help towards the grind. It's going to take such a long time to mine, bank and then smelt all the ores, so I think using it on smithing is going to bring down the grind by hours and hours and hours in the end. Mystery box number 4 on the account for the 20 nature runes. Have decided I'm going to keep clue juggling until I can complete 1 easy clue. We currently have 2 steps on the ground, so we only need 2 more to be able to complete one. We're currently sat at around 4,500 goblins killed. We currently have 3 beginner steps on the ground, so we're going to go get another casket real quick and then we'll be right back. 4th beginner casket and we get a fire staff. That is actually really nice for the account when we start alching stuff or superheating stuff in the future. That's going to save a lot of fire runes. The air staff is the main priority for me, but getting a fire staff is generally really good for me. I'm really happy. Just while I'm near hands, I'm going to get a quick update on how long I've played. 19 days, 9 hours. I've mentioned previously in the video that I've played for roughly 450 hours, so you can see that I'm actually above that now. I'm approaching 480 hours, which is 20 days, and I only made the account 57 days ago, so I've played roughly a third of my time I've been playing this account. That's kind of actually embarrassing and mad, but wow. Perfect, so we have managed finally, after 6,000 goblin kills, to get an easy casket and another beginner casket. So we've got 2 caskets to open, but I'm just going to chuck my XP lamps onto smithing. I finally decided to actually go for smithing. That's now at level 16. We have lamped the whole way, and every single piece of XP will help towards our goal of level 70. Open the beginner casket and we get a blue wizard robe top, which is actually perfect. It's our best in slot magic armor at the moment. And we get an air staff from the beginner. That is insane. In 6 clues, 5 beginners, we have got every single possible staff that we can. We've got the air staff, earth staff, water and fire. I don't know how rare that is, and I'm not going to work it out. All I know is that that is completely spooned. And I am incredibly happy, because now this means I can train my magic more effectively than I ever could before. Just before I start my mining, I just wanted to see how many ruby rings I got from these ring birds nests. This will tell me how much iron ore I should mine, because with ruby rings you can enchant them into rings of forging, which gives you a 100% chance of making iron bars. So as it turns out, I got 3 ruby rings, which means each one gives you 140 guaranteed iron bars, which means I can successfully mine 520 ores, which starting the mining grind has really drilled it home just how long it's going to take to hit level 70 smithing. Now there is my friend in the CC who has had a very similar task where he had to mine over 39,000 of each tin and copper. That will get me up to roughly level 76, 77 mining. However, he didn't have access to silver. So to get level 70 smithing purely from silver is 53,000 silver ore into bars. So I'm not sure what will be quicker. I'm not sure what method I'm going to do. It will probably be mine silver ore and mine tin and copper until the silver ore is back, just so I have a bit of variety, because I think if I mined the same ores for 80,000 times I would lose my mind. And there is level 40 mining. We could now mine gold if we had access to any, or tier 4 stars. But the progress is very, very slow. We are probably averaging about 4,000 to 5,000 mining XP per hour. Now, I'm not sure that's going to get much higher because we are using a bronze pickaxe. I'm not sure the bronze pickaxe scales very well as you go up levels. Maybe it'll get a little bit faster. But I've calculated it's probably going to take about 450 hours to reach enough ore for level 70 smithing, which is why I've chosen to lamp it. I've said it a couple times, but as an example, at level 20 smithing, I'm going to get 200 XP per lamp or 300 per book, and it's 13 XP per silver bar smelted, sorry. So if I'm getting 300 smithing XP, that's a whole inventory of silver, which is taking me approximately 15 minutes per inventory to mine it all, run to the bank and get back. So it's going to save me so much time. Decided to take a break from mining to try and fight Obor with my new Staff of Air. The best spell we can currently use is Water Bolt. So I'm just going to see. I'm pretty confident that I can do way better than I was meleeing him. So I'm going to pray range and bind him. In the future, when I have a high level, I'll snare him. But I'm just going to bind him and then use Water Bolt to get him down. And when he unfreezes, run away as far as I can and repeat. I don't want to be in melee range because he can smack me 26s. Now, the maximum hit he can hit me through prayer is 13, so it halves, which is why I don't want to be within melee range because he can hit up to a 26, I believe. So we've already done better in this fight than we had in every attempt so far. We're still taking a lot of damage, but this is way more promising than previous fights. Now, I don't think my magic level is going to be a high enough level to actually kill him. The DPS isn't great, but we've got him down to about 3/4 health, maybe 2/3 health. Yeah, 2/3 health. So the food is an issue. I'd say the food is probably the biggest issue. If I had access to lobsters, tunas, swordfish, something like that, I think we would kill him probably every time. But this is actually really promising for me. I don't think I'm going to get the kill, but he's half HP, and the best we had before was about 105. So we have improved absolutely massively, and my prayer has run out as my DPS wasn't fast enough and I've died on the way out. But that's very, very promising. And another XP book that we're going to put onto smithing, just like all the other ones, and we are just one away now from level 18. And another XP book in the very same session gives us level 18 smithing. There's now only 2 more lamps. It doesn't matter whether it's a genie or if it's a book, but we're only 2 now away from level 19. It's so much quicker than it was on the early levels. We're really starting to motor through smithing now. And we're back with some more riveting mining content. Everybody loves to watch some guy smacking a rock over and over again. Level 45 mining. The early levels of mining have come and gone. We are now at the stage where each level is starting to take longer than an hour. In the early levels, you were getting a level every invent, every other invent, every half an hour or 45 minutes or so. Now it is more than an hour per level, only getting about 4 to 5k an hour. So it's starting to become a bit of a slog, but we are as motivated as ever. We will probably end up getting between 76 and 80, depending on the ratio of copper and tin that I mine, compared to the amount of silver that I mine, because each silver ore gives you more mining experience but less overall smithing experience, because there is actually a bronze anvil in Lumbridge, which I wasn't actually aware of at the start. So basically, 1 bronze bar, I'll get 6.5 XP from making the bar, and then an extra 13 or so XP per bar that I can make bronze items with. So each bronze bar is about 20 XP and each silver bar is about 13 HP. So if I opt for more silver, I'll get a higher mining level. If I opt for more bronze, I'll get a lower mining level. The XP randoms are coming thick and fast. Each time I see a beautiful genie or account check or a little dunce on the floor just in front of me, I'm thinking, thank God I will have about 20 minutes less mining to do. So that's great, with only 1 away now from level 19. I have been neglecting my collection of the air and mind runes from the magic tutor, so I've made it a thing where every other inventory I will home teleport instead of running back to Edgeville Bank. I will bank in Lumbridge and then I will collect the runes from the magic tutor and then get the canoe back up to Edgeville. It's basically the same amount of time. It means I don't have to run back to Edgeville Bank, which is a bit of a pain because there's 2 gates that are always closed and it's just really annoying. But we're currently up to 1000 air runes, which actually is really nice. Getting another lamp here from a Leo random event is always nice, just at the start of a new mining trip. An extra 190 smithing XP, and it has been pointed out to me by one of my friends, Chunk Leas, who I speak to pretty much every day that we're both on, and he has basically told me that I am being an idiot. Let me explain. So, as you all know, lamps work exponentially. This means that when you level up, the amount of XP you get increases as you level up. Now, I have been banking and banking and banking all my ores and using my lamps on my low smithing level. What this means is I am basically halving the amount of XP I could be getting from these lamps because I am not leveling up my smithing as I go. So what I've decided is I am going to get level 20 smithing from just lamps, and then I am going to do a smithing run where I smith all my copper and tin into bronze. I'm going to make bronze items out of those. I'm going to smelt all my silver into all the silver bars I can make. And once I've done that, I should be well above level 40, maybe level 45 at that point. Which means that the XP that I'll get from lamps will be a base amount of level 450 XP. And from books, it will be 450 plus 50%, which is 225, so that's 675 XP. Which in the end is going to save me so much time, so I'm a bit of a moron for not thinking of that first, but thank you so much to him for actually pointing that out to me. And incoming is level 50 mining. This has taken me a good few hours to get. I've done 1 to 50 in about 3 or 4 days with 1 day's gap in the middle. So basically, to get to level 80, I'm going to have to do double what I've done, to get to level 57, then double all of that to get to 64, double all of that to get to 71, and then double that again to get to level 78, which is about where I'll finish. So I'm going to calculate that as basically being a month's work just of mining, which isn't too terribly bad. It's not too bad at all. It's pretty chill. I can just walk and chill while I'm doing it, so it's not too bad. It's not too bad. I'll keep telling myself that. It's not too bad. First fishing Bob random event in quite a while, and it's going to get us to level 20 fishing. We can now fish trout. So there is actually a trout fishing spot in Lumbridge. So if I had a fishing rod, a fly fishing rod, I could do that, but as of yet I don't. Level 54 mining coming in, and as you can see from my inventory, there is a variety in the ores that I'm mining. I'm basically mining the silver ore when they're available, and then mining the tin or copper until the silver's back up. So in a normal invent I'll probably get 6 or 8 silver ore and the rest tin and copper. So I'm really not sure what that will mean for my final mining level, but it's nice not to just be doing one or the other. I was having a race to see if I would get the mining level before the 6-hour log came up. I had about 6,500 XP with 1 hour to go, and it looks like I'm just going to miss the deadline. Yeah, there we go. It's going to log me out. I've got about 50 XP left until level 56, so just gonna log back in for 6 hours and 1 minute. So this is just a quick idea of how long it actually takes me to mine a silver ore with a bronze pickaxe. It's kind of painful. I'm just sat here. Any minute now. Any minute now. Oh my god. Please. It's not normally this long. I'm sorry. There we go. It took about, well, actually 30 seconds. And the final ore that is going to get us level 56. That was only about 8 seconds. That wasn't so bad. There we go. Level 56 mining. Really getting through it now. And that is where we are going to be leaving this episode of Chunk Danny, episode number 5. We have made a bit of progress this episode. We have rolled 2 new chunks. We got our best in slot items from the Black Demons in Edgeville. That seems such a long time ago, but there we are. Then we rolled the Grand Exchange. We quickly fed the beautiful dog in Varrock a bone, and then we re-rolled and got Lumbridge. When we got to Lumbridge, we completed some easy clues, and we got 4 staffs. Then we started our mining grind. We got to level 56 mining, and I said at level 49 mining I would just need 1 more lamp to get to level 20, and then the smithing can commence. We didn't get a lamp for the next probably 40 in-game hours, which is a bit disappointing, but there we are. In the next episode we will be mining, smithing, training magic, training to fight Obor, potentially training some crafting, which we will have to shear sheep for. It's an exciting time to be a chunk account. I've got so many different things I can do, so many different avenues to go down. I'm not just shoehorned into killing hill giants and black demons like I was in Edgeville. This is such a new lease of life on the account. I'm really excited, I'm motivated, I'm happy, and I cannot wait to continue. But for now, thank you for watching episode 5 of my One Chunk account. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any feedback, any constructive criticism, any comments or anything, please post down below. Like and subscribe if that's your thing. But thank you so much, and hopefully episode 6 won't be too far away.